much hot.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Big Nick Burke with the Big Nick Energy. Something a little different. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a writer and a historian. So I like to do those things when I can, but I get really bored with just retelling the same stories we all know, and oh, we found some new key information and it's changed the narrative. I get really bored with that, and I think there's only so much we can talk about the fabled history of MSG, the historic championship runs, the 75th season of the NBA. It's all very exciting to me, but at the same time, it's the same story. I know the story. I've read all about this stuff. I will say, Blood at the Garden, okay, decent book coming out, something a little different, but I don't know, a lot of the information you can get elsewhere. So to me, it's just not exciting. I don't want to add to that, So that's for other people to do. So shout out Blood at the Garden. Pick it up if you haven't. But for me, it doesn't work. I don't know. I can't do a big deep dive, an investigative journalism type thing. Instead, what I like to do is look at the facts, look at the stories, and kind of make my own story out of things that look like coincidences, things that are stretches, right? Historical fiction. So, in other words, complete nonsense. So that's what I'm working on today without any games this whole week. If you tuned in for the dunk contest, I feel pretty satisfied with my coverage of that. And I mean, we could talk more about the whole All-Star Week concept. I mean, that's something that I think is pretty polarizing. But without going into those nuances, I had a good time with All-Star Weekend. I think it was a nice break for the players. But I'm ready, obviously, for Knicks basketball to be back, because I am chomping at the bit for RJ Barrett, for Derrick Rose. And to quell that excitement, to quell that anticipation, I like to work on these historical fictions. So this is going to be a pretty substantial video, if not multiple. I haven't started recording anything for it yet, so I don't really have a time idea, but the dry runtime of just the table read through is pushing an hour. So I'm going to try and get it down, and maybe I'll put it into two pieces, but it's just going to be like a weird historical fiction Knicks lore video, mostly centered around Walt Clyde Frazier and like the beginning of MSG and stuff like that. So that's what I'm working on today. You can see I got my keyboard, mouse. We're not doing Knicks gear right now. I'm just comfortable, relaxing, always always with some stuff, right? But otherwise, just hanging out. So that's a little about me on my days off, right? On what I have in the works. And I'm looking forward to the Miami game. So that's on Friday, though. The other teams are going to be back on Thursday, but we're not back till Friday. So I'm just going to keep on working on this. So I'm hoping for like a mid-March, if not early March release. And it's just going to be a wild ride. Honestly, I am very excited. It's the one thing kind of sustaining me at this point as far as creativity goes, because these Knicks have been difficult to actually do, an analysis on. I was just speaking in the comments about Obi's minutes, and I think I'm going to do an analysis on actual coach decisions of rotations, and not just in a vacuum as a lot of people like to view them, because the minutes are so often a reflection of what the other team is doing and also what your guys are doing. So it's hard to look at it in a vacuum and say, oh, this guy only got 10 minutes, he should have got 15. Because if you take it out of context like that, you ignore what the other team was doing to them or how they were actually performing on the court. So I want to look into more of that and why Thibodeau is making these decisions. I know in the comments on one of my other videos, we were talking about Obi Toppin, and I used an example of the Indiana Pacers where when we played them in December, and you can look at the minutes that with Randall in the game, their number 1 and 2 defenders need to be big power forward and center usually, or if not 2 big wings, to double team, to stop driving, etc., to stop our downhill motion, right? And we saw that with the Pacers, Sabonis and Turner, but I know we look at Randall's minutes, but at the end of the day, the defenders have to play those minutes too. When Randall's in there playing 48 minutes, they need a defender to actually come in there and stop him too. So I think I'm going to have an analysis video in that vein coming out, but it won't come until after this. So I'm hoping to get this done this week, be shooting on it, and have it released in March. I then look forward to an analysis video on the rotations, the minutes, and just why do we do the things we do as a coach, right? Why do we play certain people at certain times, and what's the goal? What's the outcome? Because using that Indiana example, we actually did play a small ball lineup, Randall and Obi. This is before Mitch was fully healthy, fully conditioned. So that forced them to play a small ball lineup as well, and a guy who was averaging only 20 minutes ended up getting more than half of that, 14 minutes in the first half, where he would normally not. And the reason being, and I wish we kept that game closer. In the second half it fell apart. Well, in the first half it fell apart, but in the second half it was still a lost cause, so they had no need to actually play their guys more. But in a closer game, those rotations matter, those minutes matter, especially when you're playing a guy who is an offensive liability for his defensive prowess, because now you're sacrificing one for the other. So Randall being in the game and then Toppin not being in the game, right? But my whole idea is when Toppin does get in the game, the idea is to wear out their bench and make them pay so they put the starters back in sooner. And by this, everybody's more tired, and then we're able to have an advantage because we're more conditioned, running better, and yeah, all right. But that's just a quick summation of what I want to talk about. Probably when games come back this next weekend. If I get this done sooner than later, maybe I'll work on it sooner. But as it is right now, keep looking for this historical fiction. I think it's going to be, it's wacky. Honestly, it's just wacky and weird. But I think people will like it because it's just so obscure and so bizarre. But without giving too much away about it, that's what I'm working on today. I just wanted to make this video to check in with people, see how everybody's doing. Maybe put your comments about the All-Star break. Did you like the dunk contest? Did you hate it? I thought 3 guys were terrible, and I thought 1 guy was really, really good. So out of the context of the other guys being not great, I think Obi's dunks were phenomenal. I think the second round one where he just miffed it, maybe you could argue, okay, not that great. But anyways, I'm Big Nick Burt with the Big Nick Energy. Thank you for stopping by, and just keep checking back. I'm gonna have some interesting things in the next few weeks, so take this week off, relax. I'm glad the players are able to take some time off. I saw Mitch is down in Louisiana, IQ's in Kentucky. Good things. All right, everybody, be well, be safe, enjoy this end of this February, because March is coming, and when March comes, we're gonna have a lot more to talk about. All right, guys, thank you.